Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the review of the new action comedy Brothers, released on Prime Video, and it follows Mook, who is living an honest life with his wife Abby when his twin brother JD asks him to do one last favor for a heist. This film is directed by Max Barbercrow, who directed Palm Springs a few years ago, or a couple of years ago, and I love that movie. Very funny, little time travel movie wrapped up in a romantic comedy. It was hilarious. Loved it. And so all the pieces were there, especially with this cast. You got Josh Brolin and Peter Dinklage playing twins, which kind of reminds us of the movie Twins from the 80s, or was it the 90s, whenever it was, with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. And you're like, okay, that should be an interesting combination. Then you add Glenn Close, Marissa Tomei, Brendan Fraser. All of these actors are Academy Award winners or nominees, each and every one in this cast. And so this should be interesting to see them in a kind of a screwball comedy. This movie was so bad. This was one of the worst films I've seen in 2024. Nothing about this movie, and I mean absolutely nothing about this movie, is funny. This is a comedy that is not funny. And I've through the year so far, we're just in mid-October here, but through the year, I've seen some bad comedies. I've seen some comedies that weren't funny, but at moments I can see where they were trying to go at. I can see where the joke just didn't land. It wasn't that it wasn't unintentionally unfunny. It just didn't land. But this was a rare case. This is a film that it just felt like they weren't even trying. The jokes not landing, that would be a compliment. There weren't any jokes. There was nothing about this that you would constitute a comedy. Now a drama, had they flipped it on his head and actually made a drama, something dramatic, because there were some serious tones in this film that was interesting and could have been explored, but it didn't go that route. It was all over the place. The tone was all over the place, and they should have stuck to one. Concentrate on one. I would have accepted it more had it been a flat out drama, with family drama, because that part was interesting. But the rest of this film was completely horrible. And now there were some redeemable qualities, I would say, and there's few, and I mean few. Peter Dinklage is the best part of this movie. I love Peter Dinklage for more reasons than one. He's just one of these guys that I don't care what he's in. He's good in it. He's good in this movie. He's just not given anything. He's not given anything to work with. I've seen Peter Dinklage be funny. Just go look at Death at a Funeral. Well, both of them, the original and the remake. He was good in both of those movies and funny in both of those movies. Even Pixels, which is a horrible movie, but he was funny in it. I love Peter Dinklage, and he can flip it on his head and do drama. Game of Thrones, people. What more do I need to say? The dude is so versatile, man. His range is out of this world. I love Peter Dinklage, and here he really is trying. I think he is the only one in this cast that's trying to do something, but you can clearly see that he's being held back. It was like, I don't even know how to describe it. I can't even put it in words. So I'm not. I'm not even going to attempt. Josh Brolin, who, I mean, Josh Brolin is another actor. Great in everything. He's great in everything. You could go all the way back to his first film, The Goonies. He was great. And you could go recently when he popped up in Doom 2. He was great. You know, he was Thanos. He was Cable. He was in No Country for All Men. No Country for Old Men, not all men. But he was great in that. True Grit, the remake. He was awesome in True Grit. He is an amazing actor. What happened? What? Well, I don't know. I don't know why he took this role. I honest to God don't know why. You could tell he just checked out. It was moments in here where he was trying to give something. And it was like midway through the performance. It's weird. Watching this film, it's like watching it in real time. It's midway through the performance. He just said, forget it. You know, it's like, man, this ain't worth it. Just let me read my lines and get out of it. You know, I signed the contract. I got to do it. So I'm just going to do it. I just felt bad. You know, that's the crazy part. All these actors and actresses who are a part of this film, I just felt bad for them. Super, super bad. Because I know they're great. Every one of them is great. I just named their credentials. All of them are Academy Award nominees and winners. You know, Brendan Fraser just won an Academy Award a couple of years ago. What was he doing in this movie? He was the worst part of the movie. He was the worst part of the movie. And Brendan Fraser, been a huge fan of his for years. Glad that we got this kind of renaissance from him in the past few years. You know, with The Well, and he was in that Martin Scorsese film last year. Why am I blanking on the name? With Leonardo DiCaprio. Lord. Yeah, anyways, he was good in it. So it's been good, you know, to see him on his renaissance. I don't know what happened here. He was just goofy. He was out of place in a film that had no tone, really had no story. He looked out of place in a film that was nowhere. You know, it's so confusing, but trust me, it is the most out of place performance in the film. And that's saying a lot because Melissa Tomei's character served zero purpose in this movie. It made no sense. The whole point of her character was the ape or the orangutan, whatever that she was keeping in her house. And so you can have that quote unquote funny scene between this orangutan and Josh Brolin's character. It wasn't even funny. It was actually, I felt bad for the orangutan. I felt bad for the monkey because he got lumped up in it. This is mind boggling how this movie got made. This is truly the worst film I've seen this year. And I watched this 3 days ago, and I wasn't even going to review it. I'm not wasting my time with this. I'm not doing it. But it's been on my mind so heavy. It's been living rent free in my mind for 3 days. Like, how did this happen? I just had to talk it out, I guess. And it still ain't working. The more I talk about it, the angrier I get. So I guess I messed up. But this was just bad. That's the only way I can sum it up. This was bad. Worst film of 2024 so far. We got 3 months left in this year. I don't know what's this month. Well, two months left in this year or something like that. Either way it go, I don't see nothing overtaking this. This is so bad. So I guess it was disappointing more than anything. Not the sense that it was bad, just disappointing because you had so much talent involved. Even the director, like I said, I loved Palm Springs. Well directed, well acted. Everything was great, and this happened. What happened? Everybody was high. I don't know what. I just don't know. I don't know where to begin. So I'm just going to end it. Brothers, which is currently on Prime Video, gets a letter grade of an F. Yeah, this was bad. This was bad movie. I do not recommend. But I would like to know, what did you think if you checked it out? Am I completely off base? Like, oh man, it was hilarious. Okay, if please tell me where it was hilarious. I will convince me to watch it again, because right now there's no way I will watch this movie again. Just find a way to convince me to watch this movie again if you disagree. And it's all right if you liked it. I just want to know why you liked it. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for this show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel on YouTube and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this glowing review of Prime Video's Brothers. Want you all to know that I love you, continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.